guys, it's Shelee. Today's video, I want to recreate that black and white floating bloom I did a few videos back that Judy had requested. At the end of the video, I said I might want to try another one without, just trying to do the black background and then a white bloom without the black umber that I had added, but I still want to use a black cell activator. So today's video is going to be attempt number 2 at this black and white monochromatic floating bloom. So let's go get started with it. All right, as I said, this is take 2 of the black and white floating bloom where we're going to do the black background with the white bloom. And I've got another one of these 10-inch vinyls. I found out from one of my subscribers, this is it's called a 78. These are the Victrola, old Victrola records. But I actually, normally I just tape up the center on the side I'm going to pour on. I tape up the back. But normally I just put a little bit of tape here. I put tape around the whole label only because I did do one off camera, a white one, and if you can see it first, I'm like, what the heck is going on? I was looking at my ceiling to see what was dripping on it, and then I realized, oh, it's the label, Jody. I've never had this happen before, so if you get something similar, that's why the label bled through. And I've poured on a lot of records, and this is the first time this has happened to me. So I'm actually going to try. I just kind of put some tape on and then cut around the label portion. So we're going to give it a go this way. I'm going to put, I don't have my mat today. I'm going to put just a little bit of pillow paint on my dry spinner to affix this record so that it doesn't fly off, and then we're good. And I'm going to run through the colors really quick. It's the same, they're basically the same from the last black and white floating bloom I did, but I'm going to run through them again really quick, the cell activator and the pillow, and then we will get started painting. So my background color that we're going to be using, I have a mix of Carbon Black Joe Sonja. I mixed this up with my Infinity Joe Sonja pouring medium, and then I just added, this is this little piggy's sterling pigment. I added just a tiny little bit to make just a little bit of a silver sheen in the background of this black. But that's what that looks like. And I don't know if the camera's going to pick up the sheen, but there's a nice little sheen to it. So there's that one. And then I've got this little piggy, Simplicity. It's a pearl white. Everywhere, every time I turn it, the powder goes away. So I will just show you what I have in the container here. It's a pearl white. If you can catch that. This is mixed up with my Dutch Boy Joe Sonja pouring medium. And then I have a Color Art Bling It. This is the abalone shell. And what I learned the last time is this is actually an interference color. There is a bunch of different colored sparkles in there, kind of reminiscent of an abalone shell, but it's an interference. So it'll dry clear. It won't dry with this white, but I don't know if the camera's going to pick up some of the iridescence. But anyway, this is mixed with my Dutch Boy Joe Sonja pouring medium mix as well. And then finally I have Joe Sonja titanium white, and I have this mixed with my Valspar Varathane pouring medium mix. And I'm only just going to use, well, no, I'm going to use a little bit more than the last one. All right, the cell activator I've got today, I've actually used up all that Atelier I was using. I am back to my Amsterdam Oxide Black and Australian Floetrol mixture here. This is mixed at 4:1 Australian Floetrol to paint. And there's that. And my pillow for today is my Glidden Premium in Satin. So we're just going to plop some on here. Like so. And I'm just going to give it a little bit of a spin. I'm going to move this all the way to the edges. I'll be right back. All right, we're going to put the background down first. I've got the Carbon Black Sterling mixture. And I think I'm just gonna Do it like so. There we go. That gives us a nice space in there. Let me just, a little bit right there. I always make more just in case I need more, especially around the edges as you're working your bloom. It's gonna move out, which is just, it's only natural. So I want to put down the titanium white first, kind of as the backdrop. I know we have the pillow, but I also want the titanium white. It has a little bit different makeup since it's an acrylic paint as opposed to a latex paint. All right, and then I want to put the Simplicity down next. Just plop some down like so. I'm trying to keep it as small as possible and in the middle of that white center. And now this is the abalone shell. And I'm just going to put a touch more of the titanium white on top of that before we put the cell activator on. That should be good. All right. I've got I'm going to use the black cell activator. Put some right in the middle. Just put just a little bit more on. All right. Now I want to carefully blow this out because I want to keep that white in the behind it. My straw. Yeah, that blew out pretty nicely. It's a smaller bloom, but we're going to make some modifications and have some fun with it. Before we play, I want to add just a little bit of background. As I bring the any petals or anything out, I don't want it to hit the white pillow. I want to keep it on the black. I think I'm going to add some interest because it looks so... Normally I have petals shooting out everywhere, but I don't really, so I'm going to kind of create some by doing this a little bit. I might put a little swirly in the middle just to tie it together. I like that. Ooh, that looks like a butterfly wing right there. Let's bring this out just to match the other side. that together. There we go. I wasn't liking those cells, and they were just going to get worse when we spun it out. I think I'm done. I'm excited to see how this spins out, so I will meet you over at the spinner box and we will see what comes of this. Just gonna move it into the back into the center a little bit. There's what that looks like. Whoa, sorry. There's what that looks like before we start spinning it out. And I think I'm just going to slowly spin it, and then I'll maneuver it how I see it. Kind of, wow, this this looks like a Gothic bloom almost. Oh, another little spin. Ooh, I don't want to lose that. I love that right there. I'm gonna try and keep that. Let's see if I can, or at least some of it. Move this over. This way a little. I don't have a lot of movement, so that's good because I could probably stop at any time, but I do want to give another little spin just to open it up, and I know I'm going to lose more of that, but I want to open up the bloom itself just a little bit more. This is so cool. This is working out better than I imagined. All right, one more little, and I think we're about there. I like how all the little tendrils are just peeking over the sides, but you can see most of it. And then this center, I mean, it's definitely not your more traditional bloom looking. It's very, well, the only word I have for it is Gothic. This is so awesome. I think I'm done. And I lost most of that. I wanted to keep that, but if a little bit of it can hang on, that would be great. All right, I am totally digging that. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Oh, wow. Oh, that is so cool. Well, let's not drop it, Jody. All right, here is what that looks like. I'm going to get cleaned up and I will bring you over for the flyover of this one. All right, here it is as a whole. I'm going to bring you in and show you all the sparklies. I feel like my cell activator was just a little bit too thin. It's kind of running around in some places. The cells are a bit wobbly, but that's kind of what makes this piece cool. I mean, I added in the lines to kind of define the petals a little bit more, but to me it's definitely more of a Gothic bloom, but I'm really digging all those sparkles. And in the middle I got more gray, but out towards the sides it held nicely with the black and the white. We'll see how it dries, but it does look kind of ghostly. And there's that abalone shell, if you can kind of see the shimmers off that, and I can see the pearl white in there too. That simplicity. I had to make a little swirl in there. The cells just weren't working out well, and actually I think it looks a little bit better. But overall, I'm pretty pleased with this. I mean, the white held, the black held. I didn't get too much gray, so I am excited to see how this dries. Hopefully that tape in the middle helped. So I will be back once it's dried to show you the dried results. And I'm back to show you the black and white floating bloom that we just did. And it dried really, really nicely. I'm going to show you both that one and then the one I showed you at the beginning where I tried it off camera and I got kind of some seepage from the label, I think. That's the only thing I can think of. But let me show you this. And as it dried and as I was looking at it, I was like, you know, I kept saying it reminds me of a Gothic flower. It also reminds me, and if any of you are Stranger Things fans, I'm going to hold it so you can see it as a whole first. It reminds me of the creature in the first season, kind of with the mouth opening just a little bit. But I'm kind of digging the vibe of it. You know, it's different. And I did add a few more little swirlies in there just to add a little bit more interest. But overall, I mean, I did add just a little bit too much cell activator, I think. If I'd been a little bit lighter handed on it, we wouldn't have had so much black in there. But the white actually stayed really nicely. I did get, like right in here, it almost looks like it has an orange cast. And when I show you the other one, that's what that looks like. However, I taped the label on this one. If you can see, we can't really see it. And the label underneath was black anyways, but I just wanted to tape it just to see what would happen if you would see the tape. And I mean, you can see the indentation. That's just the record itself. It's not actually the tape. But so that worked out well. I think this is actually pretty cool. My lights are kind of glowing on it from the white, but I always insert at the end kind of a dried results where you can see it just a little bit better. But this is how this one dried, and let me bring you in just close enough to see the middle maybe. This is what I'm talking about, where it reminds me of like the Stranger Things, but it's also a really cool Gothic flower, and I'm going with that. So and let me show you the other one that I quickly shown you earlier in this video. Do you see this right here? The label was like an orange color, so I'm 99.9% sure it was just that kind of leaching through, which is odd because I've never had this happen, and I've poured on a number of these and a number of the 12-inch vinyls as well, and I've never taped it except for the little hole. And I never got anything like this. And I've done some red ones, so I would assume red would be a very leachous color that might come through. But anyway, so if anything like this is happening with you, you might want to try to tape the front of it. But this was my oops that I wanted to try again, but I did want to show you what happens. So there's my second attempt at the black and white floating bloom. I really like this one as well. Let me know which one you like better in the comments below. I'd love to hear what you thought of this video. And you know, the last one, if you haven't seen it, I'll link it down below as well. It's just a couple videos back, but so I hope you enjoyed watching this video half as much as I enjoyed creating it. Again, Judy, thank you so much for the request, and thanks so much for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time.